sé que me extrañas cada día. Si perdió el amor, lo siento, fue mala mía. Si fuera un cuento de fantasía, te llevaría a un paraíso y te besaría. Pero lo que me guarda
time that I did this completely wrong, but it's fine. Nothing. Hello and welcome yet again to our comeback to the Cardboard Cave podcast. Sorry that we have been in a minor hiatus. Even though we've been a little bit active on our TikTok page and as well in our Instagram, but sorry to tell you guys that we were in a little hiatus. When we came back from Puerto Rico Comic Con, we took a week, and then a lot of things happened, a lot of personal things happened in between, and that's why we're coming back now. But we are still going to provide you with amazing content, and there's a lot of content that is held back, but it will come to you guys, so don't worry about it. So what does that mean? That means that you have to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us in all of our social media, so that all of you can be up to date when a new video comes out, or just hit the bell and you will be notified. So nothing, guys, let's go ahead and talk about Final Fantasy, this big set that we're all going crazy for, sold out countless places, especially in Amazon. In Amazon, Ale has told us before that he's been trying to get product, but every time that he clicks the link, is already sold out. So we do have a Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering craze, and as well, the fact that this set is selling like hotcakes, it might bring more changes to the future of Magic the Gathering and making standard probably expensive. So let's go ahead and talk about the cards that have been released and previewed to all of us, and as well as talk about Final Fantasy. But hey, we have a lot of our hosts here. You guys, let's go ahead and bring them in. We're going to go ahead and bring in our favorite director, that he has a short film in a couple of film festivals, the one and only Ale.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, Ale? How are you doing?
All good. Ready to talk for 7 hours of all the Final Fantasy spoilers that we have. I'm not expecting the set to be too big. Huh?
Aren't they 15 games? So isn't it 15 hours?
It's actually 16 games. So
okay.
Yeah, we're up to Final Fantasy 16. Okay. I never even played. So, yeah.
Me neither. I think I stuck from X2. That's it.
Okay. I think the last one I played was 12.
Okay.
Because 12 was like the weird one. It was like the Star Wars-y one that no one cared for. But I have a soft spot for it. It's not a great story, but I have a soft spot for it. But yeah.
Okay. And let's go ahead and bring our master of the dark arts, and as well, you might have known him as well as the master of the cube, the one and only JP.
Hey, what's up?
How are you doing, JP?
I'm doing good. I've played absolutely 0 Final Fantasy games. Not only that, I also know that you guys missed all the spin-off games. There might be 16 Final Fantasies, but there's also the spin-off games. That means 20 hours of content.
I did play Crisis Core. I played that one.
But isn't that Final Fantasy 7?
That's the prequel of Final Fantasy 7, yes.
Exactly, yeah.
But wait. Cloud and his sack, the buddy.
Did you play Crisis Core on PSP? Yes, or did you play it with the new, like the enhanced?
No, I played the PSP one. Funny enough, I've never played Final Fantasy 7, so I've actually played the prequel, but not like the normal, like the main game. So it's on my bucket list, you know.
I played a couple of the like classic ones. I played, I think it was Final Fantasy 4. I got to play that one. When the PlayStation 1 came out, as well, I played Final Fantasy Tactics before it was in the Game Boy Advance. So, but I think that the highlight one is Final Fantasy 7, 8, and then 10 and X2 are like my favorite ones. Like those are like they're always on top of the tree. Nobody can take them down from there.
10 has the best story. Fight me.
Yeah.
It has the best story. You do not, those twists and turns, you never expect them. Never.
Yes.
Good twists.
You know, and X2, even though X2 is not like the best Final Fantasy, but I still loved it. It had a great fighting system, a very interesting fighting system, even though it was based on dresses, but still. Um,
You just fan service the game. So.
exactly. So, but let's go ahead and talk about Final Fantasy. Um, and yes, I agree with JP. I think that if we would have included the spin-offs like Final Fantasy Crystal and I don't know which other ones because I don't have right now which other ones are out.
Tactics, advance. There's a couple.
Yeah, there's a couple. But imagine if they would have put all of that in this set instead of
again, the set is 500 cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely.
This is a beefy set.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy.
yes. Before we start talking about the cards, because I know that there are a couple of cards that are really really nice and interesting for Commander. But the fact that we have an expensive product that a lot of local game stores and online stores are selling them super expensive as well. Do you guys think that the price point for standard has become like modern, being the fact that Universe Beyond is going to be part of the standard format?
I personally think most people are overestimating the value on these cards. I understand that this is a very popular series and this is a very popular IP, but the fact that this is a standard set means it's going to keep on getting printed and keep on getting printed. It doesn't have a limit on what it's printed. And that means like you can't compare it to something like Modern Horizons, which had a limited print run, or at least even if they did additional print runs, those two were limited. You can't compare it to Lord of the Rings. You can't compare it to any other modern set. This is a standard set, and standard sets keep getting printed. So, what's the downside of this set is how big it is. The main set has around 315 cards. If you include all the commander cards, all the new commander cards, all the new alternate cards, then if I'm not mistaken, we start reaching to the 500 mark, which is why I mentioned the 500. I think it's like 501 exactly, or 505, some number around there. That's an issue because the actual chase rares will be rare, mostly because of variants, and that might be the issue that raises price, but not availability. And I think that's been the most notable marker for Modern Horizons and modern sets in general. It's just availability. If something was more readily available, then the prices will plummet and prices will keep at a reasonable rate. You can compare this to fetch lands. Every time they keep getting reprinted in a Modern Horizons set, they drop. They drop $10 each.
Mm-hmm.
They drop hard, and fetch lands are always on demand. So if something like that is readily accessible, when you compare it to Universe Beyond, but as a standard set, I think we'll be fine. I think standard will be fine.
I think a lot of the cards in the actual standard set are not going to be powerful enough to see standard play. Like they seem to be more commander cards. There are some cards that have been getting some hype. Like I think Tifa. I think there was a Chocobo that was getting some hype, but that's few and far between. Most of these cards are very flavorful, and very synergistic in commander, perhaps, or in a theme deck. But I think, as it stands, these cards I don't think they're going to see play. Like the saga creatures. Sure, it's a creature, but that means they're more susceptible. The reason why people play sagas is because they're enchantments and they're hard to remove. But you put a creature on it, sure, you can attack with that saga, but first of all, you're going to lose that creature, and then it's easier to remove. So you might not even get like the final chapter of these sagas. I do think that, like JP said, it's overhyped. I understand Final Fantasy. Like I'm kind of surprised actually that Final Fantasy is that beloved. I thought it was going to be like the same as Lord of the Rings or maybe like Fallout, but I'm very surprised how much people love Final Fantasy. I guess there's 16 games, so there's gonna be one for somebody. So it's like a big franchise. I think that people are not realizing this is gonna be printed to oblivion, and a lot of these cards are really gonna tank hard. I think people are speculating too hard on this set, and this is not. I don't think this is comparable to Pokemon. And even if you compare it to Pokemon, some of the Pokemon sets they are overhyped and then they crash. They've been crashing. A lot of sealed product has been crashing, and those are really. I mean, they are a little bit hard to come by, but they have been printing a lot of those products in order to meet demand. And for example, Journey Together is a set that people were hyping on, but then if you notice, you can buy an ETB for basically market price, even though it was hyped for like to hell and back for like a couple of months. Same thing is gonna happen with the new set, like the Team Rocket set and the Black Bolt and White Flare, whatever set. Those are going to be printed into oblivion, and I don't think they're going to have like big hits. And this is the same here. People forget that the rates, the pull rates of like Magic and Pokemon are very distinctly different, and because we've had examples, like the best example that we have is Lord of the Rings. Even though Lord of the Rings was a modern set, it was printed a lot, and the most expensive cards are the ones that are like literally broke the format, which was Orcish Bowmasters and the One Ring. Every other card like sank, like it got obliterated in the secondary market, and you could easily get any of these cards. Same thing happened with Fallout. And again, these are sets that were far more limited to what Final Fantasy is going to be. So there's going to be a lot of opening of Final Fantasy. So don't buy into the hype. Like, I do want to get my Titus deck, but if I can't get it, I'll just wait a couple months, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get it at a normal, reasonable price. Because, last example, when Warhammer came out, I remember those decks were like 100 or something. And then a couple months later, they were basically market price. So, yeah.
It was really interesting because on Fallout, certain of the commander decks people went crazy. Caesar was one of them, and the Wise Mothman was another high-priced commander because of like what cards were in the commander deck. But don't give into the hype. Wait, like just for instance, guys, we are our sponsor Titan Games. They are trying to meet demands of their pre-orders, and as well they want us to have a product to present to you guys, but it's really difficult because of that hype and high demand of the set. And like Alex said in regards to Pokemon Journey Together, when it was announced and released in Japan, people went crazy for it, and because they wanted Lily's Clefairy, the SAR, and then the hype disappeared like in 2 weeks.
Yeah, because there's another set, which happens in Magic all the time, as we all know. There's a new set, it's the hype set, then 2 months later or a month later, there's going to be a better set or a more interesting set, and they're going to forget. By the time Spider-Man comes around, people are going to forget about Final Fantasy. And then Final Fantasy is going to be in rotation for 3 years.
Yep.
So it's 3 years of this set. It's going to be easily accessible. Like, you're going to have Targets and Walmarts filled to the brim with freaking gift boxes of Final Fantasy, because people are going to be concerned in December with Aang and The Last Avatar. Like, people forget. And the funniest thing is, a lot of the artwork in some of these cards, specialty cards where you have like the full sheet of the characters, they are taken, first of all, they're taken from the art books, but also they're taken from the actual card game of Final Fantasy that no one played. It's the same artwork. Like, I think it was President Kenobi, he was talking about he didn't like the way they were structured in the Magic card, because then he compared it to the actual card game of Final Fantasy no one played. And it was like the layout was slightly different, so it fits better with the artwork, but then in Magic it didn't translate as well. So if you wanted like the aesthetics of the cards, literally just buy like for $30 a booster box of a dead card game that no one played.
Correct. I completely agree. So let's go ahead and dive in. Just to let you all know, to our viewers / or our listeners, that are, as well, you can find us in any of your favorite audio platforms. The Cardboard Cave podcast. We're going to be going in and diving in from the rares to the mythics. We're going to highlight a couple of them because, like JP and Ale has mentioned, there are too many to keep up. So we're going to try and highlight the ones that we are like super interested in, and probably that we might build the commander from. So if you guys want us to dive in a little bit much more, just tell us in the comments, and we'll go ahead and see if we can make a bonus episode of Final Fantasy cards. So let's go ahead and dive in to the first rare. First rare is Zodiark Umbral God. So for 5 black mana, legendary creature God Indestructible. When Zodiark enters, each player sacrifices half the non-god creatures they control of their choice, rounded down. Whenever a player sacrifices another creature, put a 1/1 counter on Zodiark, and he is a 5/5.
It works if it's a mono black deck. I don't know if this could make a mono black deck in standard, because I'm thinking standard right now.
5 mana, 5/5 already goes even
Indestructible.
on stats, at least.
Yeah, but it's 5 black
Indestructible is
picks.
really good.
I know that's the best part, but I'm saying like it has to be a mono black deck. If it's a mono black deck, it could like create a new deck with this card for sure.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's indestructible. I think JP's right. Like the best thing is that like it has good ETB. Like it makes everyone sack half their stuff. You get a bonus because you're gonna make it infinitely stronger, and they can't destroy it unless they exile it essentially. So you're gonna be able to hit next turn with it. The problem is by not having trample or some type of evasion beyond the indestructible, they can just chump it. So, but it's still, yeah, I guess it could breed a mono black deck, sure.
Okay. The next card is Xenos Yae Galvas.
Yes.
3 black for 5 mana for a 4/4 legendary creature, human noble warrior, and my first friend. When Xenos Yae Galvas enters, choose a creature an opponent controls. Until end of turn, creatures other than Xenos Yae Galvas and the chosen creature get -2/-2. Whenever the chosen creature leaves the battlefield, transform Xenos. And his transformation
if you click on it
is Shinryu Transcendent Rival. A legendary creature dragon it's an 8/8 flyer. As this creature transforms into Shinryu, choose an opponent. Whenever the chosen player loses the game, you win the game. So very, very, very specifically, you can. That guy's about to lose the game, so I'm gonna kill the creature that I chose. He's gonna flip, and I'm gonna choose the person who's about to lose.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do I win?
Good for commander.
Yeah,
It's a little redundant. It's a little redundant in standard.
Yeah.
How
Standard is what it is.
How would this work in a pod?
You choose a person like that's about to. You could choose a 1 mana 1/1, and you have a kill spell on your hand. As soon as someone's about to lose, you can kill the 1/1, flip this, and choose the person who's about to lose. When that person actually loses, you win.
Exactly, but in terms of like placement, do you get first place or second place?
I guess you get first place. Why would you not?
I imagine, right?
I imagine because you're literally winning the game. Yeah, you won the game. I know what you mean in terms of like a pod.
In terms of like in a pod.
I think since you won, you go first automatically, and then everyone has to like fight for the other places. But this is again, it's a little weird. Okay, so this was something. So before we continue, this was something I think it was also Pleasant Kenobi who mentioned. He doesn't like, and I think I agree now because seeing this is kind of weird. He doesn't like injecting commander-specific cards in the standards. It's bizarre.
Or at least commander nomenclature.
Yes.
Why am I choosing a player that's gonna lose the game when I'm playing when this is a standard set?
Exactly.
And my opponent already lost the game.
Exactly.
I agree. Keep commander cards in commander, or at least if you're going to use a general effect like each player or each opponent, let it not affect the gameplay. This affects gameplay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely does. Let me go to the next one. Zell Dinshit. Dinshit? Yeah, sure. He's a 3 mana 0/3 legendary creature human monk. You may play an additional land of each of your turns. Zell gets +1/+0 for each land you control. At the beginning of your end step, return a land you control to its owner's hand. It's cool in red. Ramping
Red
in
land
red.
ramp.
Yeah, that's good. That's cool. It also like gets a boost because of the land. So at a baseline, you're gonna have a 3/3, which can be stronger. You get to play more lands, even though you lose the land, but it's fair because it's red. It's cool. It's cool. I don't think it's gonna see standard play, but it's good for commander. Like if you have a Gruul deck, this is an extra land drop in a Gruul deck. So yeah,
Commander cards, so beautiful.
commander cards.
Okay, so we're going to Xanarkand. Ancient Metropolis is a land town. I do like the fact that we have now adventures in lands. It's really interesting. So Xanarkand has a lasting faith. So for 6 mana, 2 green and 4 sorcery adventure, create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token. Put a 1/1 counter on it for each land you control, and then when you play the land, the land enters tap and it provides green. I like the artwork. The artwork looks amazing.
It's Xanarkand, so
it's Xanarkand, yeah.
Beautiful.
It's an interesting card. I think that the adventure, I think it's a little pricey, but being the fact that it gets a +1/+1 counter for each land you control, I think I understand the fact, but still for 6 mana,
should have been an instant.
Land, exactly, it should have been an instant for 6 mana better. Because the fact that this is a land, so the land enters tap when you play it, so it's not like you're getting a win-win situation on the land.
Yeah, it's too expensive. You're just gonna get like a 7/7 for 6 mana with literally nothing else. So it's cool if it was an instant because it could be like a surprise blocker. But making it a sorcery, you're announcing to the world you're playing a 7/7 token that does nothing. So I agree with you, and it's a rare too. So
it's a rare.
Yeah.
Well, next card is Zand Dark Mage. Did you lower the?
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Zand Dark Mage, 2 blue/black for a 3/3 legendary creature human wizard with menace. Zan gets +1/+1 for each non-creature non-land card in your graveyard. He gets big. He gets big quick.
Yep.
It's a Dimir mill deck.
Simple effect, but pretty effective. Yeah, if you have a Dimir type of spell slinging deck, you're drawing a lot of cards, you're countering a bunch of stuff. Oh, look at that! I have a giant menace.
Yep.
Very good. Simple.
I have no idea.
Another language.
Yeah, I have no idea what character that is, but I love the art.
Wandering Minstrel. Yes, and this is from Final Fantasy 14. Wandering Minstrel. He's Simic, so a green and a blue for a 1/3. A legendary creature, human bard. Lands you control enter the battlefield untapped. Amazing. The Minstrel's Ballad. At the beginning of the combat on your turn, if you control 5 or more towns, create a Warburg 2/2 elemental creature token. And for 3 colorless, a Warburg, other creatures you control get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of towns you control. It is Flavor Town with this card.
Yep.
Full on Flavor Town. I do appreciate that it says lands you control enter the battlefield untapped and not towns, because it would have been very limiting. But the fact that it's just any lands enter untapped. There's a 5-color land, cares about lands commander type of thing. Like, I like it a lot. It's fun. It's very fun.
So they were trying to go for the gates type
exactly,
effect.
Yeah.
Yes,
but
I think so.
I think at like what 8 mana, I think that's just not enough.
No,
Yep.
I agree.
Let's go to the next one. Is Vincent Valentine, one character that a lot of people love. Yeah. So for 4 mana, 2 black and 2 colorless, you get a legendary creature assassin. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a number of 1/+1 counters on Vincent Valentine equal to that creature's power. Whenever Vincent Valentine attacks, you may transform it. So it transformed to Galian Beast. So it's a legendary creature, werewolf beast. Is a 3/2, has trample lifelink, and when Galian Beast dies, return it to the battlefield tap. So it becomes Vincent once again.
I mean, it has resiliency.
Mhm.
So if it's on the flip side and it's like the beast mode, if they destroy it, you get it back. It assures you that that creature will never die. It's easy to flip because you only need to attack. So
Yeah.
once you attack, it's going to transform immediately, and it'll keep the counters, which is relevant. Not until like if he dies, it will reset the counters. But when it flips, it will maintain those counters. So that's pretty good. It's cool. I think for 4 mana for a 2/2 that does nothing for a whole turn, I don't know if that's standard playable, but definitely iconic and cool. And yeah.
Okay. I think I just figured
I
something out.
What?
So I was asking myself, why are there 4 cards of the same artwork?
Yeah.
And the thing is that each one has different serial numbers.
Yes.
so there's the normal border, the
Mhm.
borderless, the alternate art, and then there's the additional number should be an alternate art foil, different foiling method.
There we go.
God.
Like a surge, probably, or something like that. Or an
Yeah,
edge.
no, I don't think it's edge, but it's like a surge or like a rainbow, some type of
Magic the
foiling.
Gathering is doing Pokemon.
That's why I'm not concerned about getting any of these cards, because like unless you really want the artwork, then maybe you might be a little bit in a pickle. But if you only care about having the card, that Vince is gonna be like $2.
Yeah,
This is
So,
you know what's the funny part? Let's just put it this way. This is the
Yeah.
normal one. This is
Yeah.
the normal one that you can find foil or non-foil. This is the rainbow foil.
Sure.
And then this is the SAR.
Yes, of course. Yes. Yep. I mean, I want to address the fact that I love the idea behind like having the profile characters with the
This one?
numbering behind them, just in
Yes.
general. Like same with Van and all these characters. Like conceptually, is really cool. A really cool idea. I want to talk
Mhm.
about Van because he's one of the few characters I actually know.
and
He's from Final Fantasy
I
12.
actually really like this card.
Oh, well then go ahead, talk about it.
Okay, so Van Street Thief, 2 in a red for a legendary creature human scout 2/2. Whenever one or more scout pirates and or rogues you control deal combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library. You may cast it. If you don't, create a treasure token. Whenever you cast a spell you don't own, put a +1 counter on each scout, pirate, and rogue you control. I really like this card because it's standard fare Ragavan.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's when you don't really think about it, it's probably not it's I was gonna say something really bad. I was like, oh yeah, it's probably stronger than Ragavan. It's not. It'll never be. But
Mhm.
it does such a good imitation because you could just play this and already have a scout or a pirate or a rogue in play, hit someone, get a treasure, pass.
True.
It's
Agree.
professional face breaker for standard right
Mhm.
now.
And I want to talk about lore.
It can still
That is
take
that's
away
correct.
a card.
Yeah.
And
I
lore?
like it. I like
What
it.
about
Yeah,
lore?
lore wise, he is like a swindling
Yeah, he
little
is
thief.
like yeah.
Yeah. He's like Aladdin, but worse. He's not a great character. Final Fantasy 12 is amazing when you don't think about this guy and his sister. Those are the
Mhm.
worst characters of the game. Everyone else is really cool, but yeah. Let's see. Now the next one.
Next one, yeah.
Ultimisia Temporal Threat. It is a 6 mana 4/4 for colorless and 2 blue for a legendary creature, human warlock. When Ultimisia enters, tap all creatures under control. So you do a sleep spell, literally sleep. And then whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Yeah, sure. Like this could be like like a late game drop where you're like
Why would you
sleeping
play
the whole
this
battlefield.
when Enduring Curiosity is
course.
legal and standard, and that's has flash,
I know.
and it has by the way, it's a 4/3,
Yep, I know.
so it has comparable stats.
Yep, I know. This is the only thing it has going for it is the sleep spell, and even that's so expensive. Yeah, no.
This is a limited bomb though.
It is definitely
It
like
is,
if you're gonna have a
yeah.
bunch of little tokens and you're like about to close out the game and you just can't, you drop this and that's it. Like you're not gonna be able to like survive.
Or if you don't know if you can drop it, but you have enough creatures, you can just play this and refill your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mhm.
whenever. It's not per
Yeah.
player. It's just whenever you hit.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Let's go to the next card. Is an equipment card that I expected it would have been better, but no. So
Yeah.
Ultima Weapon for 7 colorless mana, you get a legendary artifact equipment that says the following. So whenever equipped creature attacks, destroy target creature and opponent controls. Equipped creature gets +7/+7, equip 7. I knew that this card was gonna be released because it makes sense, being the fact that you have the Cloud Commander that cares about equipment.
Mhm.
But this is such a bad card.
Horrible.
For 7 mana, I think that you can. I know that there's another equipment. I don't remember on top of my head, but I know that. Oh, there we go. The Excalibur card from Assassin's Creed is way better than this.
Yes, this is awful.
You know,
Are we sure this is not one of the welcome decks or something? Like, this isn't one of those.
I don't
you get, like,
know.
the $20 card, like $12 decks, because I feel like it's that weak.
It's really weak. You know, one, it costs 7 mana. 2,
Well, let me correct you on that, because when evaluating equipments, you should count the 7 mana as the cost, but the 7 mana as the equip.
Yes.
This costs 14 mana. It does not cost 7 mana. It does nothing for 7 mana.
Mhm.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna start. That's what I was going to get to, the equip cost. 7 mana to equip. You know, unless you use this card again in the commander format, because for standard it doesn't work. So for standard it does not work. It's trash, and not even for limited play. It's trash in all. But unless you have a creature that states when you play an equipment, you can automatically equip it to a creature. That's how you might make it a little bit better, but you still need something to play the other something. It's horrible. And then the fact that they use the Ultimate Weapon. Come on.
No. It's cute, like, you know, all the 7s in the card. That's cute, but no, it's really bad, really bad. Yep.
Go ahead, next card.
Ultima, Origin of Oblivion. 5 colorless for a legendary creature god, 4/4 with flying. Whenever Ultima attacks, put a blight counter on target land. For as long as that land has a blight counter on it, it loses all land types and all abilities and has tap, add colorless. Whenever you tap a land for colorless, add an additional colorless. I like this card.
I like it.
This
Really
is
good
so.
for,
One of the things when playing Commander for colorless is a lot of people realize that colorless actually has good catch-up mechanics for card advantage, which is weird considering white doesn't really have as many as colorless does, even though you can play the colorless versions in white. So what happens is you're either hungry for cards or hungry for mana, and colorless already has artifacts, so you just load up on artifacts. This is just doubling up on what you're already good at doing, which can sometimes just be really good.
Yep.
And it's redundancy. There's other cards in Commander that can, when you're tapping either a land or a mana source for colorless, you produce the monument.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so
I
really
agree. Really good card.
and it's disruptive too, because you can put the light counter on a good land an opponent has. Like, it doesn't have to be yours. If you're already playing a colorless deck, you can just be like, oh, that land's really good. It's like either like a yeah, exactly. You just be like screwing their hands.
I am gonna do crops rotation to play Gaia's Cradle. I play Ultima. Your Gaia's Cradle is just a colorless land.
The only downside is that it has to attack, but it's so powerful because at a base, like, it has a static ability that's really good. So even like if it does nothing, you can still produce double mana. So, the next one is Ultima. So it's a rat spell. 3 colorless and 2 white. For a sorcery that reads, destroy all artifacts and creatures end the turn. I do not know what wraths exist right now in Standard. This would be sort of a last resort sort of board wipe, unless there's no other good board wipes in Standard right now. Ending the turn It's
Wait,
flavorful.
Day of Judgment isn't it in Foundation?
Then if it's some foundation, this is like horrible. I know it destroys artifacts, so you're getting 2 things for 5 mana, but ending the turn, I get it, flavorful. Because yes, an Ultima spell would kind of like end everything, but ending your turn, I don't know. No, not that good. It's one of the weaker war webs I've seen.
Let me check. Yeah, Day of Judgment is in Foundation.
Yeah, then this is not that great. I mean, and again, it destroys artifacts, but ending the turn is detrimental for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yep.
Unless the end of turn is like, I don't know, probably that you have like another effect that you want to do besides this. You know, I don't know. I don't know. You know, it's whatever. Yeah. So this card, I really do like it in terms of like, and this card, I'm more thinking in regards to Commander. For instance, for the War Doctor Commander, that's one of the ones that I frequently play. So Triple Triad is 3 red mana and 3 colorless for 6 mana. You get an enchantment that does the following. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player exiles the top card of their library. Until end of turn, you may play the card you own exiled this way, and each other card exiled this way with lesser mana value than it without paying their mana cost. So, JP, tell me if I'm correct or incorrect. Mm-hmm. So if I, let's say that I flip a 5 mana spell on the top of my library, I play that. So I can play any other card that costs lesser mana value than the one that I played.
So no, okay. It says until end of turn, you may play the card you own exile this way, and each other card exile this way with lesser mana value than it without paying their mana cost. So if you exile a 5 mana cost, you don't need to cast your 5 mana cost. You can just cast every one of your opponent's 4 mana, 3 mana, 2 mana, 1 mana, 0 mana cost for free.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I like the card.
Really good. It's really fun.
Really good. It's really fun.
Disruptive too. Yeah.
You know, and as well as showcases Final Fantasy's 8 TCG that I never understood how to play it, but it's there.
Yeah.
Next card,
Tifa Lockhart. 1 and a green for a 1/2 legendary creature human monk. Trample with landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, double Tifa Lockhart's power until end of turn. So people have already said, I'm pretty sure Scale Up is I know it's in Modern. I don't know what other pump spells are in Standard right now. But
there's a lot of red ones for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of red ones.
Actually, the monstrous one, the one.
Yes, exactly.
The one everyone's freaking out about. So you just play the monstrous one. Mm-hmm. She becomes a 5 power attacker.
Yep.
Then Fabled Passage is legal in Standard, so you can just play that, sacrifice it, look for another land. Oh, look, she's a 20 power trampler.
Yep.
Just 2 cards. Well, 3 including Tifa.
Yeah.
But even then, just playing a land, doubling power, it's really stupid, really strong.
Yep.
In Modern, people have already said like, yeah, you could just power through Bogle style, but I don't think she has the protection for that, and Bogles isn't really a deck anymore.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah,
power that have existed.
Yeah. I think that Tifa is going to be like, if people play it in Standard, it's going to be Gruul.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be Gruul. Being the fact that one of the things that I like about this set as well is that most of the like popular characters have different cards. You know, that it's not only like you have Tifa, the most expensive one, and then you have this one as well. Are you looking for the #1 local game store here in Puerto Rico? I got it for you. It's called Titan Games. They are located in Caguas and in Rio Piedras. As well, they have their own website, TitanHobbyGames.com. There you guys can find your favorite TCGs and much more in their website. That's not all. Just pass by. Every week there's an event and there's a lot of things you can do with Titan Games. All of their information are in the description below, so pass by and check them out.
It's a cycle of 5 crystals. I think they're all from Final Fantasy 3, I believe, because I think that's the one that introduced the crystals. So this one is, and I think they're all four mana costed, but yeah. So 2 colorless and 2 white for a legendary artifact that reads: white spells you control cost 1 less to cast. And most of them have the same thing for their respective color. If you would gain life, you would gain twice that much life instead. And if you pay 4 colorless and 2 white to tap it, creatures you control gain flying and lifelink until end of turn.
Limited bomb.
Yeah, limited bomb. Oh, most of these basically are. Yeah. And for commander, they're pretty good. Like if you have like 1 or 2 colors, these seem like auto includes. Like these are extra medallions. They are not as good as medallions.
Turn 1 Soul Ring into the medallion. Turn 2 this.
Yes.
Have cost 2 less for the rest of the game.
Yes.
BOP.
Yeah. It's very OP. It's very OP. Of course, it's like 4 mana, but the upside is that each one of them has like a static ability. Like it has 2 static abilities, and they have an activated ability to make up for the fact that it costs 2 more mana. But yeah, they are very good. If you're playing 1 or 2 colors, you definitely want to get your respective colors and stick them in the deck.
Yes. Me being somebody that loves this mechanic in Magic, the water crystal goes with me. So for 2 colorless mana and 2 blue, you get a legendary artifact, the water crystal, that reduces the cost for your blue spells for 1. And then it says the following: the static ability is if an opponent would mill 1 or more cards, they mill that many plus 4 instead. And then for 6 mana for 2 blue and 4, you tap the water crystal, and each opponent mills cards equal to the number of cards in your hand. This is stupid bonkers. Being the fact that there's so many mill cards right now that for 1 mana you can mill 4 cards or more, so it's crazy.
Oh look, Ruin Crab, mill cards. Oh look, +4. Oh look, there goes your deck.
Exactly.
And this works with Sphinx's tutelage as well. So things that and like Grindstone. So I mill 1 card, so you mill 5 cards in total. And then if one of them shares a color, you do that again.
Exactly.
And that can also win the game.
The fact that really good one. This adds as well to, that there's there's this commander that I like. I've never built it like in physical form. I've built it in MTG Arena. That's Brewback. So this with Brewback is just bonker crazy. So you mill. Brewback says that it doubles the mill, right?
Yep. Yeah, it does.
So you will be milling 8 cards for each 1 card that you mill your opponent mill. So crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Fabiola to like make a Brewback deck for this card right here. Like when I saw it, I'm like, oh my god, we need to get that.
I know that a lot of people when this card got previewed, a lot of people went crazy in the internet.
Yeah, really
no
good.
lies.
Really good.
Okay. Yep. Next card is the Regalia, 4 mana for a legendary artifact vehicle. It's a 4/4 with haste. Whenever the Regalia attacks, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped, and the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. With Crew 1. 4 mana, 4/4 haste with Crew 1. A good baseline, gets you a land. I think this is just a solid card. I could even actually see this scene play in standard.
I think so too. 4 mana,
like 4 mana, 4/4 haste.
The haste part is really key.
Yeah, that's the key part. Looking for a land is like pretty good.
Yeah,
it's a draw. You're drawing a card.
Yeah,
and the thing is that you put it on battlefield tap, so it's like you look for land and put it tapped, and the rest on the bottom of your library in the random order. That's super great.
Yeah, getting a land, 4 mana haste. Crew 1. It's very power creep. Remember the days of the smuggler copter? Like
Mhm.
those days are long gone. Okay, so the next one. The Masamune. It's the sword Sephiroth has. So legendary artifact equipment for 3 mana. As long as equipped creature is attacking, it has first strike and must be blocked if able. Equipped creature has, if a creature dying causes a trigger ability of this creature or an emblem you own to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time, and you equip for 2. So death triggers get doubled, and surprisingly, emblems get
Emblems.
doubled.
It's mostly because it works with the actual Sephiroth card,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very much flavored in that direction.
Yeah.
What I will say is that this is a 3 mana for 2 equip. That's 5 mana. That's like a sword of X and Y stats. Those are good stats for an equipment.
And good abilities too. So it
Yeah.
has first strike, so it's going to force a block. And if it would die, that's good because you want it to die too. So
Mhm.
yeah. Really good.
Completely agree. Okay, so next card is the Lunar Whale for 3 and blue legendary artifact vehicle 3/5 has flying. You may look at the top of your card, top card of your library, my bad, at any time. As long as the Lunar Whale attacked this turn, you may play the top card of your library, and it has crew 1.
Immediately think of the reality chip,
Yep. Same.
Okay.
but I think the reality chip is better.
Of course it is. A
Oh,
million times better.
This is just kind of mid.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Agree. Surprisingly, another vehicle with crew 1. Like are they
yeah.
realizing like, oh, we gotta make them like crew 1 because if not, no one's gonna play them.
Also, they were realizing like 4 mana, like a 4 mana crew 3. Yeah, nobody's gonna play that.
No one's gonna play that.
Mhm.
At
That's
least
true.
4 mana crew 1. Yeah, sure. I
Yeah.
can see something with
Yeah,
that.
it's fair. Yeah, definitely.
So the next card is the Fire Crystal, 2 red for a legendary artifact. Red spells cost 1 less. Creatures you control have haste, and you pay 4 red so 6 mana. And you create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, and you sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Pretty standard red effects.
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah, copying a token that's pretty good too. Like it's generally just good stuff in red, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So the Earth Crystal, it's a green one. Green spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. If 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a creature you control, twice that many +1/+1 counters will be put on that creature instead. And for 6 mana, tap it. Distribute 2 +1/+1 counters among 1 or 2 target creatures and opponent. 2 target creatures you control. Sorry. So this is what's the one? It's not doubling season. It's the other one.
Hardened Scale?
Nope. Oh, it is Hardened Scale, right? Is it Hardened Scale or is it the other one?
Hardened Scale is for 1 mana. Yeah, there's so many.
There's like 5 effects.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the one that is almost like doubling season, but slightly different. That costs 1 less mana.
Like Primal Vigor does the same.
That's the one, Primal Vigor. That's the one I was thinking of. But yeah,
bunch
there's a
of
couple. It's again a very green effect.
Green effect. Yeah.
For sure.
So next one is the Darkness Crystal for 2 black and 2 legendary artifact. Black spells cost 1 less. If a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, instead exile it and you gain 2 life. For 6 mana, for 4 and 2 black, tap, put target creature card exiled with the Darkness Crystal onto the battlefield, tap under your control with 2 additional +1/+1 counters.
Mm-hmm. Really good. Really
Yeah,
good.
this is actually like very. I think the weakest one is the red and the green.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like this is actually really good.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
You're exiling stuff, and then you get to reanimate them later. Yes, really
Yeah.
good.
So I have to tell you a secret. Tella, Great Sage, 3 blue red for a legendary creature human wizard. He's a 3/3. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 colorless hero creature token. If 4 or more mana was spent to cast that spell, draw 2 cards. If 8 or more mana was spent to cast that spell, sacrifice Tella and it deals that much damage to each opponent. Isn't Bloomborough cards that care about like 4 mana whenever you expend mana?
True, you're right.
So
Expend.
there might be something there,
There's some
Mhm.
synergy.
because I'm pretty sure like expend was like decently good in limited, but like never pushed enough.
Yeah.
I don't know if this 5 mana creature that requires you to play something else in order for it to do anything will be enough.
You kind of want to
But-
keep it at the 4 mana range ish.
Yeah.
You don't
But
want to
wait,
get to 8.
Isn't there is that Strixhaven commander that cares about playing high cost split spells?
I think there is definitely.
There's probably.
Yeah. Is very spell slingy, so.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Summon Titan. So Summon Titan, it is a 5 mana, 3 colorless and 2 green for a 7/7 legendary enchantment saga giant. It has reach and trample, but it's also a saga, so it has chapters. The first chapter, mill 5 cards. The second chapter, return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And the third chapter, until end of turn, another target creature you control gains trample and gets +X, where X is the number of lands you control. Whoo! Do remember, guys, that when you get to the third chapter, that thing is not going to be on the battlefield. That's why
Mhm.
I'm thinking these sagas are not as great as,
Like,
yeah, they might seem.
You play it, mill
Yeah.
5 cards.
Yep.
Second chapter, I do something. Now I can attack.
Now I can attack.
Third chapter, it dies.
It dies.
It
You
dies.
get one
Yeah.
attack with them,
Exactly. Unless
Which
it's
is-
like,
which is why most of them have really high stats,
yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
or at least decent. stats.
Really sort of, yeah, really push stats. There's a couple that have more than 3 chapters, so you get to attack a couple of times, but those are like high end, like in terms of mana cost. They're high end mana costs. So yeah, I'm not. I feel like none of these are gonna get played in standard. I want to get a bunch of them because a bunch of them are for Final Fantasy X, so I want to stick them all in my Titus deck so I can make Yuna summon them. But that's about it. Because in a Titus deck, you can actually abuse these.
You can remove the counters, can't
You
you?
can
Exactly.
remove
Yeah.
the counters, yes.
Exactly. That's why they're kind of cool and fun to play with. But definitely, like in standard, there's nothing you can. I think there is 1 or 2 cards in this standard set that cares about like kind of taking off counters. It's like uncommon or common cards that you can like, I don't know, I think it's one that has multiple modes. You can like destroy a creature, gain 5 life, take a counter out of a saga or something. There's cards like that, but there's not a lot to justify this. So yeah.
Yeah. Next one is Summon Primal Odin for 6 mana for 4 and 2 black. You have an enchantment creature saga Knight, and it's a 5/3. So chapter 1 is Gun Gear, destroy target creature and opponent controls. Second is Sanetsuken. This creature gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player. That player loses the game. And then the third chapter is Hall of Sorrows. So draw 2 cards. Each player loses 2 life.
Yep. That's never gonna hit.
No.
It's never gonna hit. It's funny, and like, you know,
It's funny, yeah.
that's a good effect on a creature is just gonna attack once. Like
Once.
if you don't stop it and you lose, that's your own damn fault. Because like
Exactly,
the
yeah.
signs were there. You had a whole turn to deal with this card. So yeah.
I know that there is a creature that I don't remember which set was it, but there is a creature that you could tap and remove the counters as well.
Yeah, they're not in standard, but I remember I think it was like in a guild, one of those return.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah. It was like a zombie. I think.
War of the Spark, Soul Diviner.
That's the one.
Blue to black for a 3/2. You can tap it to remove a counter on a permanent and draw a card.
That's the one. Yep, that's the one.
Anyways, next card is Summon Leviathan. 4 blue for a 6/6 ward 2. Return each creature that isn't a Kraken, Leviathan, Merfolk, Octopus, or Serpent to its owner's hand until end of turn. And the second chapter and the third chapter is until end of turn. Whenever a Kraken, Leviathan, Merfolk, Octopus, or Serpent attacks, draw a card.
Cool.
Whenever a sea creature attacks.
Yes,
Which-
essentially.
Which is weird considering they've done Outlaw, and Outlaw is now multiple creature types.
Mhm.
Why haven't they done like this is the sea creatures? Sea creatures are this.
Give it a few more sets. When we return back to Ixalan or something, that's the will probably do it.
A return to Theros would be nice.
Oh, true. Yeah, you're right.
Mhm.
You're right. There's a lot of sea creatures there too.
Yep.
It's a fine effect. So yeah. The next one, summon GF Cerberus. So 4 mana for a 3/3 Saga Dog enchantment creature. Chapter 1, Surveil 1. Chapter 2, when you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. Chapter 3, when you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy it twice. You may choose new targets for the copies. It's cool. You get to abuse a lot of like instant sorceries. Yeah, it's fine. You're never gonna attack with this. Actually, you don't even care about attacking with this. You kind of
Yeah.
want to get the double and the triple on it. The surveil is a nice touch. I wish there would have been something better than a surveil, maybe like a draw, like a scry 1, draw 1, or surveil 1, draw a card to kind of start gearing up to play multiple copies and stuff. That's fun for like a storm deck. I can put it in my storm deck to copy extra turn spells a bunch of times. So yeah, it's fine.
Okay, next one is Summoner's Grimoire.
Mhm.
So for 3 and 1 green artifact equipment, job select. Equipped creature is a shaman in addition to its other types and has, whenever this creature attacks, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. If that card is an enchantment card, it enters tap and attacking. Oh, here you go. That's
how you solve the problem. Yep.
How do you solve exactly? That's how you solve the problem. So it has it's Braxis equipped 3.
Yep. And the job select, it's not there, but it's a mechanic. So when
It's
you
a
play
mechanic,
it, it creates a 1/1 hero token, and then you attach it automatically into the equipment. So it's for 4 mana. You have a creature that when it attacks, you get to play a enchantment creature already attacking. So you get the value. So you get to attack twice with this creature, which now you're getting into the realm of like, this is kind of good. But the problem is you're paying a 4 mana, do nothing, 1/1. It will be a 1/1 for a whole turn.
Exactly.
And then it needs to attack. No, that's a little crazy.
It reminds me of To Arms, I think. No, I'm not sure if it's To Arms. Like the Phyrexa all will be one equipments that would make a rebel.
Oh yeah.
At least the rebel was a 2/2.
Exactly. This is just a 1/1.
Next card.
I think I understand why it's a 1/1. I understand why.
None of them are broken from
There's
what
a
I've
flavor
seen.
reason. There's a flavor reason why.
There's a flavor reason why, because remember when you're in some of the Final Fantasy games, especially this is Final Fantasy 14, I
But
guess.
in the early ones, and you know why? Because the first, like with the cards that are for Final Fantasy 1, there are a bunch of like a red mage cane or a warrior's sword. So you're
Exactly.
right. It's creating a level 1 character.
It's creating a level 1 character, so that's
Exactly.
why it's like, hey, it's a 1/1.
Which is a cute lore reason, but it makes this card basically unplayable.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, next card is Summon Brynhildr. 1 and a red for a 2/1 enchantment creature Saga Knight. When the first chapter chain, exile the top card of your library. During any turn you put a lore counter on this saga, you may play that card. And the second is Gestalt mode. When you next cast a creature spell this turn, it gains haste until end of turn. This one's actually surprising. I think this can see play. Not only can this see play, I think this can see play in Commander as well. Mostly because that knight, the knight creature type is actually quite relevant for something like Sir Gwyn.
Okay. Yes.
I think for a mono red deck, this is very good because it does all the things you care about. Your impulse drawing, you are
and you get the card for 2 turns, 3 turns actually.
Exactly. You impulse draw. Then, if you don't play the card because it was a land, for example, you can just play another creature, another one of these, for example, and then it has haste, so it can start attacking and doing way more damage. So definitely way more playable than a lot of these other summons.
Mhm.
The next one, uh,
Hey, are you looking for premium playtest cards? I have you covered. TolarianLibrary.com. Just pass by their website, check out all of the playtest cards that you might need for your commander deck, and use code CBCMTG to get 20% off your order. If you're looking for cards that you probably don't have a budget for, it's fine. Tolarian Library might have it, and you can get it for your future commander.
where you're just giving a permanent to an opponent, and you get to draw a card in the exchange. So cute. It's fun. I can see a weird commander deck where you're giving stuff to the opponents and drawing cards. You can give them useless stuff. I can see something like that.
Zedru cares
Mhm.
about giving stuff away.
Yep.
You're usually giving stuff that's mean, anyways.
Exactly.
It's like
So,
Bronze Golem, you can't cast creature spells no more.
mhm.
You
So
can't play lands no more.
definitely cute. It's cute. I don't know for standard, but for sure commander can do stuff there. Yeah. Ooh, this next one is good. It's a doozy.
This next one is
So good. So good.
John.
I'm right here. So the next one is a starting town. It's a land town. This land enters tap unless it's your first, second, or third turn of the game. And it gives you colorless, and you can pay 1 life to add mana of any color. This card is amazing and great.
Yes.
So, from what I've seen, at least in the terms of like CEDH, is where most of the conversations I've seen for this card have led to,
Mhm.
if a 5-color commander that wants to be greedy and wants to win quickly, in the same vein or in the same way as a Rogsai wants to win, something that wants to go fast no matter what the cost, this is like perfect.
Yep.
This is good otherwise, but not absolutely amazing in comparison to other options you might have. This is just a really good card for standard. If
Yes.
you want to go
Yeah.
multiple colors in aggro, go for it. If you want a slower game, maybe it's not the best, especially paying the life. But if you want to go fast, this is considering the racing set had like the race to ways,
Yes.
and
Aether
I guess
Drift,
I don't think the lands like really evoke speed except the haste one, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
This one feels like, oddly enough, is like, yeah, you're starting,
You're definitely starting. Yep. Really flavorful too. So I like it. I like it. Because even then, like even if it's like your third, even if it's your fourth onwards turn, paying 1 life, getting 1 mana. If it's an aggressive deck like JP mentioned, for sure you get more value. If it's more of a control deck, you kind of want to have life as a resource. So perhaps you're just gonna play normal dual lands from different sets. But yeah, it's really cool. And the town subtype is pretty relevant, obviously, in this set. Maybe going forward, it might be relevant if they do more RPG or JRPG franchises or whatever, because they can pull more towns from those sets.
Yep.
But yeah, really good.
A return to D&D would be nice. There's so many towns.
I agree. That'd be good. That'd be a good way to like abuse this. Yeah.
So next card is Squall Seed Mercenary.
Mhm.
2 white black for a 3/4. He says Rough Divide. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains double strike until end of turn. Whenever Squall deals combat damage to a player, return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. 4 mana 3/4 that when it attacks gives double strike. It doesn't even need to attack. You could just play this and it works like a pseudo enchantment giving something else double strike. I think this is very good. It's very reminiscent of Rafik of the Many, which also gives double strike and exalted. This has an additional ability of being able to reanimate something. And if Squall's the one that's attacking alone, you can reanimate 2 things if you manage to hit. I think this is a very well designed card in terms of mana value, power, and balance. I'm not sure about the flavor wise though.
Yeah.
Flavor wise, it does make sense. Because in this case, when you play Squall in the game, his weapon is a sword and a revolver at the same time.
This is the
So
dude with like the gun sword.
Yes, this is the gun
yes,
sword guy.
this is
Yep.
the gun
Okay.
sword guy.
Yeah, this is a gun sword guy. All I'm gonna say is rip for Sun Titan. This is there's already been better Sun Titans already, but this is just another better Sun Titan. So
Mhm.
feel bad for Sun Titan. I like to talk about this one. Sin, Spirus Punishment. It's the evil guy from the Final Fantasy X game. 4 colorless and absent colors for a 7/7. Legendary
Sultai.
creature. Sultai. Yes, legendary creature. It's late. Legendary creature, Leviathan Avatar. It is a flyer. It flies. Whenever Sin enters or attacks, exile a permanent card from your graveyard at random. Then create a tap token that's a copy of that card. If the exiled card is the land, repeat this process. So yeah, for Sultai, which cares about milling a lot and reanimating a lot because it has both of those colors going for it, this is horrific. Sure, it's
I have a question.
go.
Is what's it called? Karlov Manor is still in standard, right?
Karlov Manor. I don't
Yes.
really.
I
It
don't
is
think
still.
so.
Oof,
Give me a
that's
second.
hard.
Give me a
It's
second.
been a while. It feels
That
like
was last year,
that was last year. Oh my god,
Yeah.
there's many sets.
January last year.
Then it's probably still in standard. If it must be.
The prime speaker, like not the prime speaker, Vanifar from that set
Mhm,
allows you to cloak a card from your hand,
mhm.
and people were trying to cloak Atraxa to
Okay.
blink it
Yep.
and get the ETB,
Yep.
and also you just get an Atraxa.
Yep.
This might also go very well in that type of deck. I'm not sure if people are still trying to do that.
Karloff Manor leaves the rotation on September of next year.
So there's obviously overlap. So yeah, you
Yeah,
can definitely
so
do
yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
So cloak this card, some way blink it, get the effect very quickly,
Yep.
and even then you still get a 7/7 flyer.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
The only downside, which is it's a fair downside, is that whatever token you make, it enters tapped, but still doesn't matter. Like if you're making a bunch
no.
of blinking, if you're making a bunch of lands that enter tap, it doesn't matter because you get a multiple lands, so you get one good non-land permanent, and then you just repeat the process next turn. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. I love this
Pretty
card.
good.
Yep.
Okay. Our next card is Seymour Flux for 5 mana, 1 black and 4. Legendary creature, Spirit Avatar. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 1 life. If you do, draw a card and put it on 1/1 counter on Seymour Flux, and it's a 5/5.
Doomblade it. No, you can't Doomblade it. That's the funny part. But yeah, you can do anything else. Go for a throat. That's it.
Cut for a throat.
5 mana, it dies.
Swords to Plowshare.
Just anything. This is cool, I guess. But at a baseline, you're paying 5 mana to do nothing with it. It has a block.
Exactly.
It's a blocker. It's a blocker, and then next turn, you get to draw an extra card and then make it a 6/6 and attack with it.
I remember back when Phyrexian Arena was really good,
I know.
and then someone pointed out to me that hey, Phyrexian Arena was never good. What you thought you could get in multiple turns, you could just get with a Read the Bones. With Read the Bones would see 4 cards because you could scry 2 to the bottom and then draw 2 cards,
Mhm.
and that would take Phyrexian Arena 5 turns.
Yep.
That would take this 5 turns just to play, and then 5 turns to just go even on cards.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Not good.
When evaluating something like this, I personally like to see the mana value and the amount of cards it gets you. If something's 1 mana and it draws you 1 card, it's even, and that's okay. That's pretty decent.
Mhm.
If it's 1 mana and it draws you 2 cards, that's really good.
Really freaking good.
So
Yeah.
so 5 mana and it takes 5 turns to draw you 5 cards. It's a bit too slow.
Yep.
Next card is Sarah Farron.
Mhm.
1 green white for a 2/2 legendary creature human citizen. The first legendary creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 2 or more other legendary creatures, you may transform Sarah Farron. And her transformation reads Crystallized Sarah. The legendary artifact, the first legendary creature spell you cast this turn costs 2 less, and legendary creatures get +2/+2. So if you get a Legends Matters deck, I think she's
Mhm.
almost an
Auto
auto
include.
include.
Auto
Like
include.
she's really good. She's just basic. She doesn't need to do much. A reduction by 2 is pretty significant,
Yep.
and the Anthem effect is not negligible.
Yep. This is for all the SpongeBob SquarePants decks, you know?
Yep.
Right? It's SpongeBob. SpongeBob's the one that gets you like extra legendary creatures, right? Not Joda?
Yeah.
What is
It's
Joda?
Joda. Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
no.
What's Joda? It's
What's
SpongeBob
Joda?
and
It's SpongeBob
SquarePants.
SquarePants, right? So I can play SpongeBob SquarePants with my Sarah Farron in my deck.
Yes. So you would play SpongeBob, then Sarah, then
Right, right. Uh-huh.
you will do cast legendary cascade. Find something legendary for two
Mhm.
for
Plankton?
3 minutes.
Plankton.
You find
Plankton.
Plankton. There you go. See?
So powerful.
And then
so good.
next turn you flip Sarah because you
Yes.
have 3 legendary.
No,
And then you get to
But-
cast
but-
Spider-Man, right?
exactly.
No, you capped Optimus Prime.
Ah,
Optimus
I
Prime.
forgot. It came out a while back. I'm sorry. Yes.
Sorry.
Oh my god, this is horrible.
Okay.
The next one is Cypher Almasi. Legendary creature, human, knight, 8. It is a 4/4. It is a 4 costed 3/4. Legendary creature, human, knight. Sorry. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains double strike until end of turn. Oh, so very reminiscent of Squall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever Almasi deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target instant or sorcery with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. So it's Squall, but it only cares about instants and sorceries. So that one cares about permanence. This one cares about basically non-land, like non-permanence.
And they're both from Final Fantasy VIII. I'm assuming they
Yes,
know each other, and they're like,
Synergy, definitely.
yeah, kind of sad that Wizard of the Coast hasn't brought back a partner with.
Agree.
Yeah.
Because it's the
It would have been a Marduk commander.
yeah, but
Sure.
it's also the balanced version.
Yeah.
You play this, you look for the other one, then you play the other one. It's pretty balanced for standard. I have a commander, like one of my favorite commanders right now is like Mary and Pippin, and they are partner with each other.
That's true.
So
Did they ever make? No, they never did. They never did partner mechanics in standard, right?
no, even though they're gonna print some in this set, but as alternate arts.
Exactly, and they're not like in the standard set.
No,
it's
no,
interesting. It's interesting because
They're just
The
promo,
last
like
time they did something like with partner was in Battle Bonds.
and
but it
Lord of the
was-
Rings actually.
Lord of the
and
Rings,
Lord
yeah,
of the Rings as well. But Battle Bonds was more focused to bring the two-headed commander format.
That never happened. And the people
Not
just
two-headed,
insert
not
cards.
two-headed commander. My bad.
It was two-headed giant. Yeah, it was two-headed giant.
To bring like that type of format back, but it didn't
Yeah.
last. It lasted probably like a month.
Yeah, but, I mean, great cards for commander in that set.
True story.
I don't know if partner will be good in standard, or maybe they're afraid to do it just because, like, think about it. You have a card that when you play, you automatically draw a card.
Mhm.
That might be too good for their evaluation. Maybe, I don't know. That'd be my guess.
So the next card is Saz Katzori. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Zaz. I'm gonna call him Zaz. So for 3 mana and 1 green legendary creature, human pilot. 3/3. When Zaz enters, you may search your library for a bird or a basic land, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle. Whenever Zaz attacks, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, then double the number of 1/1 counters on that creature. So it's a card that cares about counters.
Mhm.
That's it.
Simple. And birds.
And birds. And birds,
Bird.
because we have our first bird commander.
Yes, the first and only one. There's not been like
Exactly.
1,000.
There's been a few.
Couple. There's
There's
been a
been
Wait,
not
is
bad.
it?
there's been a few.
Isn't Kaikar a bird?
Yeah, Kiker is a bird, but like that. A bird, when I think bird commander, I'm thinking like that cares about birds.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
okay, got it.
There was one in Bloomborough, actually.
And
Um,
there's one in Odyssey.
Yes. True.
Scourge, actually, Scourge. I'm pretty sure
Yes.
it's Scourge.
Yeah.
Next card would be Rosa, Resolute White Mage. 3 and a white for a 2/3 legendary creature, human noble cleric. She has reach at the beginning of combat on your turn. Put a +1 counter on target creature you control against lifelink until end of turn. As a creature, she's quite bland, but I like that she immediately gives value. You or at least you play her, you go to combat, you get value.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very white card. White weenie card.
Exactly.
It's a very good white weenie card. You play
I'm
a bunch
sad
of-
that she's the human noble cleric and she has the reach and bow, and she's not an archer. Considering the archer type is very rare, and there's a few like there's a legendary creature that cares about archers, and there's not many archers at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. So the next one, Raubon, Bull of Alamigo, 2 mana, colorless and a red for a 2/2 legendary creature, human warrior. Don't you guys get tired of having so many legendary creatures?
Yes.
Insane. How are you gonna make a standard deck with so many legendary creatures? It's crazy. Anyways, it has ward, pay life equal to Raubon's power. Whenever Raubon attacks, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to target attacking creature. Another one for the white weenie deck. I don't know if the white weenie, sorry, the red or the Boros, who knows? Red aggro decks or Boros aggro decks might care about this if there's equipments to justify it. The roles, as my understanding, they are auras. They are not equipments, right?
The what?
The rolls, the monster rolls and stuff like that, like the roll cards.
Yeah, those are enchantments.
Those are enchantments, so there's no way
Yeah.
to kind of like abuse it. But if later on they make sort of like samey roll cards, but they're equipment cards and they're cheap and they're like, an instant speed or they have flash or whatever, this might be very powerful. Even the ward
You
ability
can-
is very good though.
This card mixes well with Captain America.
Oh yeah, of course, definitely.
Because you know that Captain America has that ability that it deals damage when you remove an
Mhm.
equipment. So you go ahead and remove the equipment, and then when you go to combat, you attack and you can put that equipment back to Captain America.
Yep.
So you can go ahead and, let's say, for instance, remove Excalibur, hit for 12,
Mhm.
put Excalibur back because Robon, the bull, the bull attaches the Excalibur back. So
Yeah.
it's an okay card for equipment.
I think the ward is relevant. I think
Oh, yeah.
if you're like having a red aggro deck, if they want to remove it, unless it's like by blocking, they have to use something to remove it, and then they have to pay the 2 life, so it's still damage. So I can see
not
that.
only not only the pay the 2 life. Just think about it. If you have like an equipment that provides 10 plus 10 plus 0 or plus 12 plus 0 or something like that, it could be having him have that and be like, oh, so I'm gonna like, I don't know, source to plow shit. Well, you have to pay like 14 life.
Yep.
So
it gets crazy real fast.
It can get crazy, yeah. So next card is a Noctis, Prince of Lucius, for 1 white, blue, and black legendary creature, human noble. God dang it, so many legendary creatures.
Yeah, so many.
It's a 4/3 with lifelink that says the following: you may cast artifact spells from your graveyard by paying 3 life in addition to paying their other cost. If you cast a spell this way, that artifact enters with a finality counter on it.
Real good. And it has lifelink, so you can get your life back.
You can get your life back. Yeah,
That sounds more commandery than standary.
correct.
But it's a really good commander, or really good in the 99 of a commander that cares about artifacts, which there's a
Artifacts.
couple
I think
in
I
those
think there's
colors.
a couple. Yeah.
In those colors, for sure, there's a plethora of them. So really, really good. Yeah, really good.
Next card would be Ninja's Blades. Tuner black for an artifact equipment. Drop select whenever equipped creature gets +1/+1 is a ninja in addition to its other types and has whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. That player loses life equal to the discarded card's mana value.
Nice.
Interesting.
Again, 3 mana equipped 2
Yeah.
is always very good.
Yep. The job select gets you a 2/2, so it's a 2/2 with that ability. It's pretty good. The next one is Mughals Valor. 3 colorless and 2 white for an instant. This one's an instant. This one's different. For each creature you control, create a 1/2 white Mughal creature token with lifelink. Then creatures you control gain indestructible until the end of turn. Protection spell and also Arachnogenesis. Really good.
Correct. Really strong.
With the lifelink is really good. It's like, oh, I'm about to die. Nope. I'm gonna make a bunch of Mughals. They're not gonna die, and I'm gonna get a bunch of life back. Yes. Yes. Like it a lot. I like it a lot.
Okay, the next card is the following: Minwu, White Mage. So 3 and 2 white legendary creature human cleric. Vigilance lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/+1 counter on each cleric you control, and it's a 3/3. White weenie.
White weenie. Yep. And for clerics, which there's a couple in this set, so maybe there's a possibility of doing something. It's 5 mana for a 3/3 though, so little icky. But I guess in a cleric commander deck, which there is such a thing. You can kind of like do a lot with that. So
next card would be Midgar, City of Mako. Land the town. It has adventure, reactor raid, tuna black for a sorcery. You may sacrifice an artifact or creature. If you do, draw 2 cards, and then this land enters tapped and adds a black. I think this is one of the more playable ones. If you need just draw a card, you're gonna play this tapped anyway, so pay 3 mana, sacrifice something, draw 2 cards, play it from adventure tapped.
Yep.
I think this one's like pretty decent.
Would it be too unfair if it was an instant?
It would be, actually.
I guess for 3 mana, it probably would be. What if it was 4 mana instant? Would that be fair?
I think it would be fair.
Okay.
Yeah, the fact that these are sorceries is what kills the vibe with these lands.
But I agree with JP though. I think for 3 mana, sacrificing and drawing 2, and then playing that as your land drop, so in a turn 4, I think that's fine. That's pretty acceptable. That's pretty acceptable. I'm just saying, like, well, where's the line? Okay, I'm just gonna do then the last one, maybe. So Memories Returning. It has Squall in the picture. It's a sorcery. This one has a little bit of controversy. I've seen a lot of hot takes on this card. It's a sorcery that reads: reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand. Then choose an opponent. They put one on the bottom of the library. Then you put one into your hand. Then they put one on the bottom of your library. Put the other one into your hand. It has flashback for 9 mana.
Jesus.
Yes. So people have been comparing this with Factor Fiction. Those people are insane. Factor Fiction is infinitely better. Sure, they might do 2 piles. Usually the piles are going to be 2 and 3. So you generally take the 3 pile unless, because there's more card value there, unless the 2 card pile is infinitely better. It makes you win the game or whatever. It's also an instant. Sure, it doesn't have flashback 9, but it's better. This one allows you to have 3 cards at the end of it, and you get to pick the first card, which might be the thing that makes it sort of might edge out of Factor Fiction, but I still believe Factor Fiction is way better. For standard, I believe that this one is good if you have like a really control-y deck, like with a lot of planeswalkers, a lot of counter spells, a lot of draw spells. This one probably would be included into your deck because it's 3 mana at sorcery speed, 3 mana, 4 mana to draw 3 cards, and then you get to do it all over again later on. So yes, for standard, it'll probably see play, but like in a general sense, it's not comparable. Like, it's not that comparable to a fact or fiction. So
Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. So nothing for all of our listeners and or viewers. We're gonna continue this on our next episode with our top 3 cards. Being the fact that this is such a big set, we don't want to, continue talking about each card because we want to, give you feedback in regards to the cards that are coming out, and as well have a couple of jokes because it's Final Fantasy at the end of the day, but we will continue in the next episode of the Cardboard Cave podcast. In all, guys, what is your thoughts, at least to what we got to see in tonight's episode?
I think lands are better than they read, worse than they should be.
okay.
Okay.
Because I immediately realized we were shitting on the green one, but you can just pay the 6 mana and then just play it as a land. And I think being able to just play it as a land anyways is quite significant.
Yeah, having the versatility is always good. That's why the flip lands. Yeah, that's why the flip lands were played a lot too. The ones that had like a sorcery or instant ability in the back end, you either play 3 mana or able to enter tap. So sure, it would be actually. I would have been nice that these lands could have entered untapped and you paid 3 life, but maybe that would have been too strong because as
I
JP was
think
saying,
that would have been too strong. Yeah.
yes, because then you would be like playing as a sorcery and then you would just untap the land and then play like a 1-drop, and that seems like a lot of value. But yeah, I think the way that JP is reading it might be correct. I think a few of these lands might see play. The ones that are probably cheaper costed, maybe not the 6 mana one because it is 6 mana for a 7/7 do nothing, but perhaps like the black one for sure. I feel like it would probably see play. It's very doable. You're getting a lot of draw for 3 mana, so.
I will say we haven't really we won't be covering the commons and uncommons.
Yes.
I've been reading up on them, and I am so glad they cut back on removal. The last format I played, which was Tarkir, Tarkir limited format, had too much removal.
Yeah.
To the point where a Mardu deck, my opponent's Mardu deck had like 12, 18 removals pieces. And I was like, well, I can run more, but I don't think I need more because then I won't have any threats. I won't have any other options. And I've realized that they cut back on that. We could see that once the set is fully out. I think it should be fully out by this week, right?
Definitely.
I think so,
because it starts next week with the pre-release and all that.
Yeah.
There are a couple. I think in lieu of having a lot of removal spells, there's a lot of spells that have versatility. The one I want to mention really quick is the battle menu. That for 2 mana, you have an instant that has 4 different abilities you get to choose from. You get to choose an attack, which makes a 2/2 white knight creature token. You have the ability which has a creature that gets +4 until end of turn, so it's like sort of a protection spell. You have the magic mode, which destroys target creature with power 4 or greater, or then you have an item which you gain 4 life. So I guess in lieu of having really strong removal spells in this particular set, you have a lot of stuff that gives you a lot of versatility. And a lot of like battle tricks, which are far more interesting than just like, oh, I'm just gonna remove it, get rid of it, go for the throat. Like that's kind of boring too. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm really interested, like, to see what else we find out when we reach to the mythic portion of the set. We will continue posting a couple of like the spoilers and whatnot that we continue getting in these past few next days. So just pay attention to all of our social media. So we will complete our coverage on the rares and mythics next week, and as well our top 3 cards of the set. So just pay attention to our social media so that you guys can be up to date on when our episodes are going live. So I think, guys, let's go ahead and do the round table. JP, where can the people find you?
You can find me here in the Cardboard Cave podcast. How about you, Orengo?
You can find me here talking about delicious Final Fantasy cardboard. It's funny that for a franchise called Final Fantasy, we're at Final Fantasy 16. It's never ending. It's not truly final. You can also find me at Cinemas Podcast. I do movie reviews and I talk about movies all the time. But JP, what about you? JP, no, John. See, we're all tired. John, what about you?
Love you guys. You guys can find me here at the Cardboard Cave podcast as well in all of our social media. So if you do send us a message, myself or Ale are going to be answering you. And as well, I do want to announce that upon next week or the starting of mid-June, we will be announcing and sending you all an invite link to our Discord. We're just missing to add a couple of other like key pieces like bots and make sure that all of like the servers are up and running, like you guys can enjoy the server as much as you guys want, and you have access to us as well. And the great part of it is completely free. So nothing, guys. You guys as well can find me at Real in Films and as well in Conexión Espiritual, where I talk about movies as well and review them. Nothing, guys. We will see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.
A rope until I cut it, bala pa tu cabeza, para delicadeza, habla la realeza, salva naturaleza, method for your mentalities, kill them with no fatalities, happy with all the cannabis, welcome to your reality.